To set up your Parents' Evening booking form, you'll first need to log in to SchoolPing, and from the home page, click the Create button in the Parents' Evening booking system tile. You then need to choose your recipients. If all your classes come on the same day, you can select all of them here. If they come on different days, just select one of the classes for the time being and set it up just for this specific class. You can then put in your subject, so something along the lines of Autumn Term Parents' Evening or something like that. The category is Parents' Evening, that can't be changed. Pop in your Parents' Evening date, or the day of the first date if it's held over multiple days. Choose your slot duration. Pop in a start time. You can change the minutes if you need to. And put in your end time. You'll be asked if you want to add a comfort break to this session. If you click yes, all the teachers will have the same time for their comfort break, which might be fine. If you want them to have different comfort breaks, click no, and I'll show you how to reserve specific slots a little bit later. If Parents' Evening is held over multiple days, you can then select to add another day. That adds a day 2. On the very next day, you can change that if you need to a different date, and you can change the start time and end time if needed. And you can continue adding extra days for as many days as you need. You then need to put in your booking deadline date, and we always advise to put that as close to the Parents' Evening date itself, even on the day of, is a good idea. And by default, it will say that the parents are allowed to add a comment to their booking, but you can change that to no if you prefer. So the booking deadline date is when they have to have booked their slot by. There's also the option when they receive the message to click unable to attend. You can then add your message, explaining to the parents they need to book a slot to see their child's teacher. And it's worth mentioning that because bookings are made against the child's name, only one parent can book a slot. For parents who want to come together, this is not a problem. But for split parent families, if they need a second slot, then they'll need to contact the school office to reserve an extra slot. So we advise writing something in this message box just here to let them know this. Something along the lines of, if you require a second Parents' Evening slot, please contact the school office and we'll book that for you. Once you're happy with the setup of your Parents' Evening booking form, you can send it straight away. You can schedule the message to go out at a later time and date. You can preview it or you can save it. It's always a good idea at this point to preview it so you can see what the parents will see, and also to check that you have made sure you have enough booking slots for 30 children or however many children you have in each class. So what we'll do is I'm going to actually schedule the message, which is what we would generally advise doing, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So I'll schedule the message out now to go out a little bit later today, and the expiry date will be put in as well, and that's for the day after the Parents' Evening is going to take place. That message will no longer be needed on the parent's phone, so that's the expiry date that we put in there. So I'm going to click Set Schedule at this point. It's asking me now whether I would like to allow separate bookings for each class. The answer is yes. If I put no, it will create one booking form for the whole school, which is obviously no good. I want different booking forms for each class, so I'll click yes. So once it's scheduled, I'm going to come back to the home page just here, and I'm going to go to View Bookings. You'll see there's nothing here at the moment, and that's because it's showing me any live bookings, of which currently there are none. This is because they're scheduled to go out at the end of today, so I need to change the filter here to scheduled. And these are the booking forms I've just created. So what you'll see here then is all the different time slots, and you can change between the 2 days. And if I click on the time slot, you'll see I've got the option to book it. So I can book a slot on behalf of a child and parent if I want to, or if the parent asks you to, and save it, and that grays it out, meaning it's booked and can't be booked by anybody else. The other option is to reserve it. So this is where, if you've scheduled these to go out at the end of today, you can then come in here into the view bookings area, reserve some slots out for individual teachers to have a comfort break, so that everyone doesn't need to have the same comfort break. So I'll click reserve, and you'll see it's got space to put some notes. So if I just pop in comfort break, the teacher knows at that point they've got a break, and then I can click save. And you'll see here when I hover over it, it says reserved comfort break. That means when this message goes out to parents to start booking their slot, they won't see 3:40 as an option to book because it's been reserved. So this is also where, if you need to reserve a second slot for a second parent, you would do that by clicking on the booking slot, choosing reserve, and in the reservation note, just writing reserved by Ben's dad, and then clicking save. So at the time and date that I've scheduled this to go out, it will be sent out to the parents. They'll receive the message on their phones to book their slot. If they've got multiple children in the school, they'll receive multiple messages, one for each child, with a separate booking form for each child. At this point, all of these forms will move from the scheduled area to the live area, and you can keep track then by going into the view bookings, into the live area, and seeing who has booked when. Once all the bookings have been made, you can then print the schedules off, print timetable, and give it to the teacher so they know which parents to expect and when. As always, if you need any more help or guidance, please contact the New Era support team, and we'll be happy to help.